everyone. How are you doing? I know that you all are doing well and you all are studying well. Welcome to the class 10th syllabus. Now, guys, after 10th, you will be in 11th class. So it's my suggestion that you will be learning the detailed version of 9th and 10th syllabus in 11th and 12th. So whatever you do, just do it in a better way so that your all concepts are clear. So let's start the very first chapter, life processes. I'm going to share my screen before I say anything. I suppose I introduced myself. I'm Anjali Ahuja, your bio tutor. Okay, so I suppose you can see my screen. This is a presentation about the life process chapter. Okay. Now, guys, if I ask you a question that there are so many living organisms nearby you, there is a lizard, a cockroach, an insect, a plant, you, your friend, all the living creature that is on the earth. Now, if I tell you guys, think about all the points that you feel they are common in all living organisms. What will you say? What is common between a lizard, a cockroach, an insect, in you, a housefly, or something like? We all have something in common. We all have basic processes which are same. Yes, that's written on the screen. We call it as the life processes. We all eat, we all excrete, we all show digestion, we all reproduce. There are many activities. We all can move, even if it's plant, but the movement is restricted, but movement happens. These are all basic life process that is there in all living organisms. And that is what we will be learning in this chapter. Basic life process. Now, guys, now let me tell you, first thing in this chapter, what we have to learn is the first life process. Actually, even before I start teaching you guys, let me tell you one thing. All the processes and everything in class 10 syllabus is in plant, in animal. You learn about the reproduction in plant, in animal. You learn about digestion in plant, in animal. So you have to learn it that way throughout your syllabus of class 10. Fine. So the first life process that we are going to cover today is nutrition. We will be covering nutrition in plant, nutrition in animal. In today's session, these are the topics that we are going to cover. Introduction to the life process and characteristic of living being, though I have explained you that. Nutrition types, nutrition in green plants, chloroplast, factor affecting photosynthesis. Now, guys, the first thing, as I was telling you this thing earlier, yeah, so I was telling you this thing earlier that all the living creatures, they have something in common. I was giving you example of the organism itself. I was telling we all are showing nutrition, transportation. Yeah, transportation is the circulation thing that happen in all of the living creature. Their body, like if I talk about a cockroach, the blood is not red, but the circulation is happening in the body. Molecules are moving from one place to another place because transportation is a must process. Molecules, enzyme, hormone, they have to move throughout the body. They need something. You have learned that in diversity in living organism chapter also of your class 9. Okay, so next is respiration. We all show respiration, breathing, respiration as an exchange of gases. And the detailed part of it, I'm going to teach you that what else happen in respiration, because this is actually breathing. Stay connected. Next is excretion. We all are throwing up the waste product of our body. So yeah. Reproduction, because reproduction is a must process on earth that has to happen so that all the living creature just can be there for the existence. Metabolism is we all are just digesting. These are all life process, and other than that, I will say locomotion is also there. And this is also a very, very, very important life process. Now, guys, let's move forward. First thing that we have to cover is nutrition. I don't have to tell you definition of nutrient, right? Process by which any organism will be obtaining energy, and nutrient is like that energy and utilizing it for different purpose in the body. And nutrition in different organisms, this is of different type. See, guys, if I just use the word mode of nutrition, Mode of nutrition means that any organism, how it is absorbing and taking all the nutrients inside the body. That is mode of nutrition. So mode of nutrition in any of the organism, it is of two types. First is autotrophic. I know that you have been learning this since your grade 6. It's okay. We'll learn that and I'll tell you just the key points. Autotrophic and heterotrophic. You know, I always say bio is not a English. Bio is, we are learning that with the help of English. Bio is a different language. There's a different terminology that is used in bio. We just split the word and then we learn it. So if you're learning the bio, all you have to do is just split up the words and then you learn it. So auto means self. It's a Greek word. Self. And trophy means nutrition. And hetero means other. Trophic is nutrition. So autotrophic means when organism is making its food by itself, that's autotrophic, and heterotrophic means dependent on other. Now guys, autotrophic nutrition, it further used to be of two types. Photoautotrophic nutrition and chemoautotrophic nutrition. So into the photoautotrophic, photo means light, chemo means chemical. So when the food is prepared with the help of light, that is photoautotrophic nutrition. Chemo means when they're using chemical for preparing the food. Is that clear? Now guys, if I ask you, can you give me example of the photoautotrophic nutrition? Yeah, green plant. But other than that? Algae, green algae, blue-green algae. Blue-green algae doesn't belong to algae category. Algae is a separate category. Blue. You had learned that in diversity chapter again. If you have not learned, just go through it. It's fine. Syllabus was reduced last year. And if you're watching it now, you have done it. Okay. So green algae, and this is green plant algae and the blue-green algae. They are the one which are photoautotrophic. So I don't have to explain you. They're showing photosynthesis. They're absorbing the sunlight. So they're converting light energy into chemical energy. It's all detail I'm gonna teach you. Okay. Chemoautotrophic means when they are using chemical. What chemical they can use? They can use hydrogen gas. They can use methane. They can use nitrite, nitrate. Okay, so these are the chemical they are using. It's just that in the presence of sunlight, they just prepare the food. So chemoautotroph. Now, guys, if I ask you a question, can you give me example? There are many categories of bacteria which are doing this. Chemoautotrophic bacteria. So, nitrogen fixing bacteria. This is one example. Other than that, there is a category which is known as purple sulfur bacteria. They use sulfur actually. Purple sulfur. My handwriting is otherwise good. It's just the application that I'm using right now for bacteria. So these are the example of chemoautotrophic one. Now let me give you information about the heterotrophic. So guys, heterotrophic as in they are dependent on another. The one thing that you have to remember is how this they are obtaining nutrition from the other organism. This is further of three types. Saprophytic nutrition. Then there is parasitic nutrition. And then there is holozoic nutrition. So I'm going to give you detail about it. Holozoic nutrition. I suppose I have a space. Nutrition. I have a lot of space. Why I'm just writing on just one screen? Okay. So the first one is here, saprophytic nutrition. Into the sapro means rotten. So into the saprophytic nutrition, organisms are obtaining food from the dead and decaying material. So they are like, suppose you must have heard that there is a dead and decaying material on that many bacteria living organisms are residing. Suppose this is a dead and decaying material. And onto it, many of the bacteria are living. Sorry, onto it, yeah, many bacteria and many microorganisms are living. So these microorganisms, what do? They will release enzyme externally. They will release enzyme. We call it as extracellular enzyme, which is getting out of the body. And this is going to convert complex. For them, this is a food material, but they are going to convert the complex material into simple form. And that simple form is the one which is absorbed by them. This is how digestion happens. Sorry, that's absorbed by them. So saprophytic, fight means to eat. Saprophytic, I have told you this. This is a mode of nutrition where organisms, they are just residing on the dead organisms, releasing enzyme, converting them up, and then, so by, you may say, hydrolytic reaction, in the presence of hydrolytic acid, they're causing the lysis. In the presence of water, they're just digesting the waste material, the decomposed one. I mean, they're decomposing it. So yeah, that's it. This is saprophytic. So there is an example, for example, fungi and bacteria. I suppose now that's clear to you. So organism which is showing saprophytic mode of nutrition, they are known as saprophytes. Saprophytes. Now the next type of nutrition into the heterotroph is parasitic one. Parasite. You must know what is parasite. Parasite means when one organism is living on another organism. I mean, another organism, you may say, act as a host. So the organism, this is acting upon the host and just it is absorbing the nutrition from the host. So this is obtaining food from the host. Is that clear? So this host, it can either be a plant or it can also be an animal. It can either be a plant and it can also be an animal. Just remember that up. You can think about a lot of disease, guys. Like there are stomach problem disease you must have heard in Why Do We Fall Ill chapter last year. Ascariasis, it's there in the intestine. So this is also residing on us. We are the host to them. So that is also a parasitic mode of nutrition. You may say lice in the head if you have. That is also. And on another animal also, ticks and mites are there in the plant. If I say Cascuta amar bale plant, that is also living on the host. So that is also acting as a parasite. It's Cascuta, TA. You must have heard about the disease malaria. Not heard, you must have learned last year. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium, which through the Anopheles take entry in us. But point is that that is also a parasitic mode of nutrition, just living on the host and just absorbing all the nutrients. Now let's move further. Third type, holozoic nutrition, as the name indicates. Holozoic nutrition means absorbing the food, taking the food like an animal. Holo means as a whole food taken up and then digestion happen internally. So feeding like an animal. Like as we are eating the food, our digestion is happening. So all the animals, you may say, higher animals. But it is not necessary that only higher animals are eating that way. There are many categories. You know, you must have heard about herbivore, carnivore, omnivore. They all come under holozoic nutrition. अब इसकी भी definition बताने लगूं तो तुम्हें शर्म आनी चाहिए. मतलब you should be ashamed that if I have to tell you definition of them. But only thing that I'm telling you that all they belong to is holozoic nutrition. So they all show ingestion, digestion, assimilation, excretion. These are all different steps that are followed. It's totally fine if you're hearing this for the first time, but you will get to know the detail once I teach you. I suppose in the next part you'll be doing that. So we are done with the basic information about the types of nutrition. The next thing that we have to do is nutrition in green plant. I have a blank space. I suppose I can just use it for writing nutrition in green plant. So basically, guys, we know that into the plant photosynthesis happen. Photo means light And synthesis means to prepare. To prepare the food in the presence of sunlight. Into the photosynthesis, I repeat myself, light energy, this is converted into chemical energy. Now, question arises how that happens. There is a proper mechanism, machinery system present into the plant. Now, what happened? Let's understand that. Now, point is, guys, here, the basic reaction is 6CO2 plus, it react with 12 molecule of H2O. It will be forming C6H12O6 plus 6 molecule of H2O plus 6 molecule of oxygen. This oxygen go into the air. C6H2O, this is a carbohydrate. Basically, you must have heard in different book, it's saying fructose, glucose, starch, whatsoever, they all are type of carbohydrate. Basically, glucose is formed, which is stored in the form of starch. Starch is the storage form, that's another carbohydrate. Now, one thing, if a question come in your paper, that the carbon of the carbohydrate come from which molecule? So CO2 is the one. CO2 is the one that actually form it. And oxygen, from where this oxygen come? It used to come from the water molecule. So these two questions come in your paper, that oxygen molecule kahan se aati hai, from where that come, and carbon, carbohydrate carbon. So I have told you individually, you will be writing it. Now there's a one pigment present in the plant which is known as chlorophyll that helps in entrapping these molecules. Sunlight. See, CO2 used to come through the stomata. Water molecules are also absorbed through the roots. Three things are required, na? Carbon dioxide, H2O, and light energy. And light energy is entrapped by chlorophyll. So these three things are coming from different ways. They react together internally. Now, let me tell you one thing. Photosynthesis happen in all the part of the plant whatsoever is green. Talking about the leaves, they are the most green part. They have maximum chlorophyll in it. The rate of photosynthesis in leaves, it's maximum as compared to all the green part, because that's comparatively having less chlorophyll, but photosynthesis happens. Clear? Now talking about the leaves, to which we call it as the kitchen of the cell. Kitchen of the plant. You know what, guys? Into the leaves, there are certain parenchymatous cells. You have learned in tissues chapter in your last class. There are certain parenchymatous cells present, which are known as mesophyll cells. This is the actual place where photosynthesis happens. Mesophyll cells are like a normal cell, but the chloroplast content in them is so high. They have a lot of chloroplast in them, and this is the place where photosynthesis happens. Now, let me show you a diagram here. This is like a cross section. Suppose this is a leaf, and they have cut a little section of the leaf and magnified it under the microscope like the 3D image. Now, what they are telling, very externally, it will be having epidermis. Obviously, cuticle is present above epidermis. Like you must have seen on the leaf, there is a membrane kind of layer coming out. That's epidermis, that's cuticle, which is released by epidermis. Now, below that, there are mesophyll cells present. There are two types of mesophyll. One is palisade and one is spongy. Palisade seems to be like a very compact and designed one, present in a proper way. But spongy is the one that's present like randomly. That cells are not properly present and they do not have proper packing. Reason being, because of the spongy nature, they will be having air spaces in them, which is not there in this case. So this into the spongy one, there will be air spaces present. And through air spaces, gaseous exchange can happen, because whenever stomata is present, like suppose this is a leaf, stomata will be present on the lower surface of the leaf. There will be the spongy mesophyll, and through stomata, gaseous exchange happen. So gases need space to move. So that's why spongy will be there. I hope that's now you're getting my point. Yeah, so this is the middle vein of the leaf, the middle vein, this one. So into them, vascular tissues are present. Vascular tissue means the one that helps in conduction of water and food. So xylem and phloem is present in the vein. Even into the leaves, then vein will further be having branches here. So there also the xylem phloem tissues are present. So now let's talk about the mesophyll cells. Here photosynthesis happen, and into them the number of chloroplast is maximum. 100,000 of chloroplast are present in them. Okay. So now we know that reaction happened in chloroplast. Now let's understand the structure of the chloroplast. Okay, guys. Now talking about the chloroplast structure, you have learned that in your 8th class, 9th class. I suppose you're going to skip this video too because you know the structure of chloroplast, but it's my duty to teach you. So chloroplast will be having two covering, or you may say two layers. Yeah, external and internal membrane. And I'm bad in drawing. No, I'm not bad in drawing on the paper though, but it's fine. This is the new time. Okay, so this is outer membrane. This is intermembrane space, and then this is inner membrane. The two most important things into the chloroplast are stroma and grana. Grana and stroma. People get confused at this point also. Granum is singular and grana is plural. Stroma is same. Okay. So now, grana appears to be like a stack of coin, like a pile of coin, 1 over 1 over 1, like that. Let me show you. Yeah, you see the diagram on the right side. This is a video I'm going to show you. Like this. Stack of coin. Okay. So the stack of coin, and here also this is present. And now this grana, it appears to be like a stack of coin, and one coin of this structure, like suppose this is one coin is known as thylakoid. So a coin is the thylakoid, like one coin like this is a thylakoid, and all the coins together we call it as the grana. So these are the place where a part of the reaction happened, mainly into the thylakoid itself. Now all the grana, they are connected to each other. You'll find many grana as you see in the video also. In the picture here right now, I'm going to show you this video though. So basically point is that they're connected by each other, and we call it as stroma lamellae. We also call it as Fred channels. Fred channels. So they're connected with each other, that we call it as a Fred channel. And now guys, the fluid part externally, it is known as stroma. Now, other thing, I don't have to tell you about the chloroplast. They have their own DNA. They have their own ribosome. They have their own protein. We have learned that in the cell chapter last year, right? So I don't have to mention. I'm telling you these parts because this is a place where photosynthesis is happening. Now, guys, photosynthesis used to happen in two steps: light reaction and dark reaction. Let me just write it up there. Photosynthesis used to happen in two steps: light reaction and dark reaction. One thing, light reaction that always happen in the presence of sunlight. Dark reaction do not require sunlight. People get confused at this point whether dark reaction happen in the nighttime only, but nothing like that. Dark reaction happen throughout the time, daytime, nighttime, anytime. It's just that it is not using the sunlight. Fair enough? Now we have to understand these points in detail. Guys, I have a picture to explain you here. This is a balancing diagram between light and dark reaction. Into the light reaction here, see, on the left side, this is light reaction and this is dark reaction, right? Into the light reaction, what happened? Energy is formed. Like I'm going to write it up there first, light reaction, and here dark reaction. So what happened? Into the light reaction, energy is formed in the form of chemical ATP and NADPH, or you also call it as NADH. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. That's energy currency. It is formed in the mitochondria and in the chloroplast. NADH is another molecule that also help in ATP formation. Guys, jahan par bhi tum NADP word sun lo, it is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Nicotinamide dinucleotide phosphate. This is the molecule that helps in ATP formation. Jahan pe bhi present hai, matlab ye ATP bana raha hai. Iska kuch kaam hi nahi hai. It doesn't have any work. It will be forming only ATP. At a time, this molecule, it is able to form 3 ATP. So if there is NADPH, it will be reacting and further forming 3 ATP more. That's it. This is the only work it is doing. Now, into the light reaction, energy is formed plus oxygen is formed. This oxygen go into the air. and this energy go into the dark reaction. And there, this energy in the dark reaction is helping in the formation of the product carbohydrate. This energy is the one that helps in showing actual reaction where carbohydrate is getting formed. And yeah, CO2 is also fixed. It's not getting released, it's getting fixed. Into the dark reaction, CO2 is joining the process, they are forming the sugar starch. Now let me tell you, in this diagram is a chloroplast. This green part is the thylakoid grana. So here light reaction is happening. Into the light reaction, first oxygen is formed, and I have told you this in the very initial that H2O is the one that actually forms the oxygen. H2O splits up. We call it as photolysis. In the presence of sunlight, it is lysing, means breaking up. So H2O show photolysis and it form oxygen, and it form rest of hydrogen. So hydrogen are used somewhere, I'll tell you that in the same chapter. Now, into the light reaction, into the thylakoid, actually many of the pigments are present. You know, chlorophyll is further of many types: chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, chlorophyll C. Other than that, there are so many pigments present in the plant. Xanthophyll, carotenoids, all those things. They all are present in the thylakoid. A lot of pigment. We call it as photosystem. Photosystem means pigment system, a group of pigment. So here, one group, two group, and a reaction which is known as electron transport chain. It's fine, you want to learn it or not, but it is another reaction. Actually, electron transport chain ko main aaram se batati hu. Electron, listen to me. Electron transport chain is the chain where NADPH forms ATP. I was telling you, wherever you listen the word NADPH will be forming ATP. So that actually happened with the help of electron transport chain. Clear? So into the light reaction, into the thylakoids, a group of pigment, photosystem 1 and 2, they are forming energy in the form of ATP and NADPH. They are forming this oxygen release, and they are forming, by electron transport chain, ATP is formed and NADPH is coming from the photosystem. Photosystem also shows certain reaction inside because these are chemical. So now what happened? This energy, it moves into the stoma where dark reaction happens. Into the dark reaction, a cycle happen. We call it as the Calvin cycle. You don't have to get into the detail, just remember the name. Into the Calvin cycle, RUBP, phosphoglycerate, and G3P. These are certain molecules, they keep on forming in between them. First of all, ATP and NADPH is joining the process. CO2 is getting fixed, further reacting with RUBP to form photoglycerate. That from here RUBP is coming, and from here CO2 is coming. They form phosphoglycerate. They form G3P. G3P further form sugar and starch, which form the sucrose, and the rest of the RUBP join the process. RUBP, phosphoglycerate, and G3P, they all are chemicals. They all are chemicals. They have their name. In the cell, always a number of biomolecules will be there. So these are all biomolecules. So RUBP is ribulose bisphosphate. Ribulose bisphosphate. It's a chemical present in the cell. So one chemical react with CO to form another chemical, phosphoglycerate. Then they form G3P by some intermolecular internal changes happen. Then G3P molecule splits. Half the molecule form sugar starch and half form RUBP again. Like that happens. This is happening in stoma, where CO2 is also joining the process, and that's it. That is what light and dark reaction. Now, guys, because you're an AskIITian, obviously you'll be learning extra. So let me give you a little information about photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. I suppose now, guys, this is very much clear to you. Let me see. I think I have 2 slides on the light reaction. I'll accordingly use the space. Light reaction, this is also known as light dependent reaction. It's okay, guys. If you do not understand, I have tried my best. You can just go back and watch the video again. You will understand that. Light dependent reaction, also known as Robert Hill reaction. Oh, so simply say Hill's reaction. Robert Hill is the person who actually defined it first. So in the short, I'm telling you this again, that into the light reaction, energy is formed, photolysis happen, oxygen is released. So how that story happened, let me tell you. So there is photosystem 1 and there is photosystem 2. How they are reacting. First of all, whenever sunlight is falling onto the chlorophyll molecule, this is going to be excited. It is going to have the energy and this is going to be excited. So then what will happen? This chlorophyll is going to be excited and one electron is going to jump out. This electron is the one which is going to further, just have the story. Now this electron, it is taken up by some electron acceptor molecule. To be very specific, that molecule name is ferredoxin. Sorry, it's ferredoxin. This is going to take the molecule. And ultimately, this electron is the one through a number of molecules, it is going to be taken up by the NADP and it is going to help in the formation of NADPH2. Now understand this, okay? Light energy is falling onto the photosystem 1 where chlorophyll molecule get excited, electron is released, this electron is taken up by the electron acceptor molecule and that further help in formation of NADPH2 from NADP. Now guys, NADP needs hydrogen as well to form NADPH2. So stay connected, you'll get to know from where this hydrogen is coming. Now, simultaneously what happened into the chlorophyll second molecule also here, chlorophyll molecule entrap the sunlight and it get excited to form excited chlorophyll molecule and electron released again. Now let's understand this point also, because into the photosystem 1 here, electron is jumping and used somewhere. So it means into the photosystem 1, there is a deficiency of electron. Now photosystem 2 will be providing electron to it. Okay, your electron is gone. Let me help you. So here simultaneously, it is also giving the electron. Now this electron go into the photosystem 1. And in this process, it helps in the formation of ATP from ADP. Adenosine triphosphate. Actually, ATP is adenosine triphosphate. ADP is adenosine diphosphate. So one phosphate molecule join the process and electron help in, binding these molecules. So ATP is one. Clear? Eh? Now, I repeat myself. Into the chlorophyll photosystem 1, electron is being taken up by the, after chlorophyll get excited, electron is accepted by electron acceptor, NADP converted into NADPH2. Into the chlorophyll second, to help photosystem 1, chlorophyll second here, chlorophyll molecule get excited by light energy. This is also excited, electron release, and this electron going to the photosystem 1. Now, in this process, ATP is formed. That ATP reacts with 1,4-phosphate, diphosphate react with 1-phosphate to form triphosphate again. So now, photosystem 2 is also going to have electron deficiency. What will happen? Now guys, understand this point. Into the photosystem 1, this electron deficiency is fulfilled by photolysis of water. Here, H2O molecule, it's split up. 4 molecule of H2O in the presence of sunlight. This is going to split up to form 4 H positive and 4 OH negative. This hydrogen is the one that is going to be there to just give the hydrogen, okay, from the photolysis. Now this 4 OH negative. This 4 OH negative, it further going to form 2 molecule of H2O plus 4 electron. And of course, oxygen molecule. Oxygen molecule is by the end, guys. Listen to me. So this 2H2 is the one which further going to join the process, photolysis. Matlab it is a free water molecule which is not heated, will join photolysis again. 4 electron is the one that is actually going to fulfill this electron deficiency, and oxygen is the one that go back into the air. So guys, I suppose this is clear to you. That's all about the light reaction. I repeat myself, into the light reaction, photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, they are very important. Into the photosystem 1, light energy falls on chlorophyll molecule. It releases electron, which is taken up by the electron acceptor. That electron acceptor help in the formation of NADPH2 from NADP. And because from where this hydrogen is coming, it will be coming from the photosystem 2. So from the photosystem 2, hydrogen and electron both come to the photosystem 1. Into the photosystem 2, Chlorophyll molecule react with light energy, chlorophyll get excited, electron is released, that electron go back into the photosystem. Now, during the process, when it is going back, it is forming ATP from ADP. Adenosine diphosphate react with phosphate to form ATP. Electron helps. Now, photosystem 2 will also be having electron deficiency. That whole story is resolved due to the process of photolysis. 4H2O molecule break to form 4H positive and 4OH negative. So H positive is the one which will be taken up by the NADP to form NADPH2, and OH further will be forming 2H2O, 4 electron and 1 oxygen. It's 1 oxygen. So this electron is the one that fulfill the electron deficiency in the photosystem 2 itself, and oxygen go into the air and H2O just join the process again. That's how this is all story that happened in the light reaction. That I suppose is clear to you. It's very easy. You can watch the video again. Very easy. And this diagram itself is very explaining. Now let's talk about the dark reaction. Oh, I have a blank space written up there. So light reaction, done. Let's talk about dark reaction. You don't have to learn too much in the dark reaction. You just remember dark reaction is also known as light independent reaction. It doesn't require sunlight. And this is also known as Blackman's reaction. It was explained by him for the first time. Into this process, energy is coming from the light here. This is chlorophyll light reaction. From there, this NADP plus obviously ATP also join the process. Okay, that's written up there. My video was on it. I couldn't see it. So ATP, and they are coming into the stoma part. They are showing a cycle which is known as Calvin cycle. First thing. Calvin cycle is also known as C3 cycle, because the product that you see, it used to have 3 carbons. That's the reason. So CO2 will be reacting with RuBP. I have told you this product earlier. You can move back and see. So RuBP is ribulose bisphosphate. This is going to react further to form 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde here. And yeah, they further form G3P, which is going to split up to form sugar and RuBP again. And in this whole process, this ATP is the one. Power of energies, NADPH and ATP, they are going to help, for this process. So you may say dark reaction used to happen in 3 steps. First is CO2 fixation. Second step is utilization of energy, as in ATP and NADPH. And third is regeneration of RuBP. RuBP and carbohydrate formation, the product formation. So these are the steps that are there in the dark reaction. So I suppose this topic is really very clear to you about the dark reaction, and this is what happened in the photosynthesis. Now there is a clear picture of photosynthesis to you guys, that where photosynthesis happens, how it happens, and what are the individual steps. So many students actually get confused at this point again on the dark reaction, what this point is. I've told you dark reaction happen all the time in the daytime and in the night. Now guys, the very last topic I suppose is factor affecting photosynthesis. You can think about all the factor, but few factor written there. Light intensity, water, soil, pH, carbon dioxide concentration, temperature, and other climatic conditions. So there are a few factors written up there, guys. On the graphical format, I have added light intensity, carbon dioxide. I suppose we can just talk about it. Guys, listen one thing. This topic, I don't think they're going to ask as a detailed question, but they can ask just 1 or 2 mark question. But that's fine, you have to learn out. So first is sunlight. If I talk about the light intensity, so as the sunlight is increasing, the rate of photosynthesis will be more. Obviously, if the sunlight, then it is going to be like a plateau, like a flat one, because then sunlight, it'll be very unnatural that sunlight is just increasing. Obviously, there's a plateau in the afternoon time, so nothing. So sunlight, you may say into this factor, that is the ultimate source of energy, and only 2% of the total sunlight that is coming on the earth is used in the photosynthesis. Now I tell you one more thing, guys. You can add few points into this. You know about Vibgyor? Vibgyor is the visible pattern: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. It's the visible sunlight. Visible sunlight is actually nearby 400 to 700 nanometer. Or you may say, to be very specific, it's from 380 to 760 nanometer. This is the wavelength through which we see. It's all wavelength that I can see. You can see the screen. You can just read it up. That's only that wavelength is being used, the visible one. The rate of photosynthesis is maximum in red and green one is obviously there. Green and red region and blue region also. Actually, other than, yeah, green is least. Actually, maximum photosynthesis used to happen in blue and red region. Remember that. They have studied it by providing individual wavelengths to the plant, and then the studies are confirmed because chlorophyll molecule, they're absorbing maximum in the blue and red region. That's what you remember. Okay. So the chlorophyll molecule are absorbing sunlight at this, and they are breaking down the molecules. They are forming carbohydrate. They are making the molecules also. But that's what we'll be writing. Do not mention the green color because green color is like least happen. Blue and red region. Okay. Okay. So yeah, plants are green doesn't mean that it is going to show photosynthesis on green. This is the molecule that emits green light. That's a different concept. Okay. So the next one, carbon dioxide. Yeah. So carbon dioxide is also like, we used to say that level of carbon dioxide should not be too much, because if it is too much, then plants are going to be damaged. They can die also. There is a pressure on the plant. So when the carbon dioxide level increases, rate of photosynthesis also increases. But then if it is going up and up and up, then it is a problem. Then there is an effect on the plant. We call it as the carbon dioxide fertilization effect. Fertilization effect means when there is a too much carbon dioxide in the plant, that a plant is under pressure. It's not able to just convert all CO2 into the oxygen. The plant can die in this case. That's what it is. So yeah, you can say carbon dioxide, this is a raw material for the plant, and it is absorbed with the help of from the stomata into the plant. Then you can just little talk about the stomata. I don't have to give you that information. And then yeah, this points are enough. Okay. Okay. So the next factor is temperature. So obviously, when the temperature is going to be just up and up and up, all the molecules are going to disintegrate because they also require a proper sunlight temperature. So with increasing temperature, rate of photosynthesis is there, but at a particular temperature, maximum photosynthesis happen. We call it as the optimum temperature. And then it falls down. Even if the temperature keeps on increasing, point is that a particular temperature is required for the photosynthesis. Now, guys, I suppose that is clear to you. These are all the factors that are needed. Other than that, you can see light intense. I have mentioned that. Water molecules also can say that water is absorbed from the roots. They are taken up. This is the one that is helping in the photolysis. So if the water molecule is least, no oxygen will be there in the photosynthesis. No oxygen is formed. You can just talk about the photolysis. So water is the must thing. And carbon dioxide I have told, temperature I have told. Other climatic condition, you can talk about the chlorophyll. That how much chlorophyll molecule, because this is a pigment molecule that is needed. Even the leaf type also, like if the leaf is toward the sunlight, it is going to get the sunlight, photosynthesis happen. If leaf is in the shady place, so these are the things: the leaf direction, chlorophyll molecule, how much it is a healthy plant. So these are all the other factors that can affect. But I suppose we are done with the factor affecting photosynthesis point, and we are done with nutrition in plant. If you have any doubt, you can just ask now. You know what you have to do. Anyways, guys, let's move back. Let's see what we have done today. I don't think revision is needed on that. Yeah, nutrition green plant. I talked about the cross section of the leaf. I showed you where it happened. And then chloroplast structure, then how light and dark reaction happens separately. And then video, I suppose, is not needed. It's fine, just a chlorophyll structure. You learned that in 9th class. So I've explained you everything though. So light reaction here, I told you light and dark reaction, how they are balanced in the diagram. And then I individually talked about them, that in the light reaction, what happened, photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 is there. It's just all electron story, which help information of everything. into the dark reaction here, light independent Blackman's reaction, Calvin cycle, because the first product is having 3 carbon, we call it as the C3 cycle. It happens in 3 steps. Now the next thing that I told you is factor affecting photosynthesis. I hope we are done with it. Let's see how many questions are added. Where do plants get each of the raw material required for photosynthesis? I'm not going to discuss it. We've done that. You can read it. You can read it. And then how are plants and mineral transported in plant? Yeah, xylem and phloem, I have told you. I have answered this. Okay, so further question, you can go into your module, you can go into your book and just study it well. I suppose nutrition in plant is very, very, very much clear to you. If you have any doubt, just put it on the forum, on the discussion board. All the questions are going to be answered. On the website also, there's an Ask Expert option on the general website page. You can just click on that. And let me stop the screen share and let me be on the screen. So me, Anjali Ahuja, saying see you again. See you again. Bye.